Good morning, Big Brother fans. I'm not going to talk about Big Brother today. Not going to talk about Amazing Race today, as there was no Amazing Race episode last night. There was, however, the season finale of Survivor, and I did watch it. So, spoiler alert, I will talk about Survivor a little bit in the winter and all that. So if you haven't watched last night's episode yet, you probably want to skip this. So I hadn't watched, I already tweeted about this a little bit. I had not watched Survivor in all the way through in probably 2 or 3 years at least, if not more. I usually had bailed on it at some point. I got through the entire season of Survivor this year, and I'm torn. And if it comes into if it comes down to the camps, I guess there was a big I guess Rick Devens was a big dividing line for a lot of fans. Either you hated him or you loved him. I did not hate Rick. I enjoyed Rick. I enjoyed him on the show. Did I think he deserved to win? Not necessarily. He didn't make it to the end. He totally blew it on the last challenge, on the fire thing. And that was rather ballsy of Chris to take off the immunity idol and take him on mano a mano, and he was probably right. I'm guessing he was right in that if he had not done that, I don't think he would have won. Assuming that Rick had beaten one of the other two in fire. I mean, the way Rick went on the fire, he kind of, at least the way it was edited, it sure looked like he kind of fumbled and fell apart. If he had gone against either of the other two and they had beat him, then he wouldn't have been there anyways. Then would Chris have won? I still don't know. Rick, is it the other guy, the guy that took second, Gavin. Gavin's strongest argument wasn't made by him as to why he should win. It was made by Rick from the jury. Rick's the one who said, how many times have you been nominated? None. But Gavin didn't come up with that on his own, so would Gavin have come up with that if it had been him versus Rick? Or him versus Chris? Well, it was him versus Chris. I guess it still might. Obviously, if it had been, well, if Devin had been if Rick had been eliminated by anybody besides Chris, I don't know if Rick still would have rooted for Gavin the way he did. Because it seemed like, at least the way, again, it was edited, that Rick was pulling for Gavin to win. I said it earlier this season that I thought that the person coming back from jury, whichever it was, whether it was Rick, but since Rick had been back for so long, and as it turned out, Chris would have an advantage because of the social time they would have had with the cast. I didn't think that it would be someone who was eliminated day 3 that would make it all the way back. And he sure seems strong, but I'm really like, really? And people have been saying it all over, this person only paid 6 days to Survivor and won it. Yeah, kind of. I mean, they did have it rough on the island, but I really would have expected that they would have edited a lot more of Extinction Island into the show, knowing they knew that Chris had won. They knew the entire they knew the entire season that Chris was going to win. Why not highlight the island a little bit more so we would have seen more of those people? They could have done it in such a way that you didn't necessarily have your eye completely on Chris, but I don't remember. Confusing Chris with, and names are going to escape me here, but the guy, there's two guys that looked a lot alike. There's a guy that went out much later than Chris that looked a lot like Chris. So I was like, who's this guy? No, this is this guy. This isn't the guy that just went out a few weeks ago. Yeah, I don't know. I'm mixed. Now I have a whole nother, so I am not completely of the, as much as I might complain, I'm not completely of, Survivor is ruined thing. I kind of enjoyed the twistiness of this. I did. I'm sick of the idol number. While I am completely sick of the idol thing, that it's a given that there's going to be idols and search for idols, and that's what they spend their time doing, I really did enjoy Rick making up 2 fake idols and having 4 idols play at that eviction ceremony, whatever the hell you call it, immunity ceremony, the fire, that thing. It was kind of fun to have 4 idols thrown out there, although the other guy should have stepped up first. I don't know. It was I don't know, maybe they just wanted the girls to go first so that they could feel like fools, and then the guys went next to say, like, yeah, ours are good. I don't know. It was an alright season. I don't like the next season, so for those of you that didn't wade through the entire reunion show, they teased next season, and there you go. There's how I don't know. I don't know what the hell's going on. They're bringing back 2 people. Rob, not Rob has a podcast, Rob, but the other Boston Rob is coming back. And I can't remember the name of the woman who's coming back, and I remember watching at least one season that she was on for a bit, and apparently she's won twice. Don't remember that. Probably because I didn't watch the other season that she won, or maybe I only watched parts of both seasons that she won. I just don't even know. I remember her, but I didn't remember that she won a season, and I may have even watched her win the season. I don't remember Survivor like I do Big Brother, and let's think they're at the 38th or 39th season or whatever the hell it is. Yeah, there might be a reason why I don't remember it in the same level. 38th, right? Oh, God darn it, the road's closed again. Oh, I hate this. Every year, not every year, but at least every couple of years, they do constructions on this one road that I drive to work on. And I never remember to take my detour, because the detour they send you on, if you get right up to where the road's closed, the detour is longer than if I had gone a different route, and now I'm having to go a different route. It's going to make me a couple minutes late to work. Oh well. So Survivor, yeah, okay. I'm okay. I don't like Jeff Probst on the live show. He's okay on the show, even hosting, that stuff when it's just. But this live show, man, he is so over the top. And Adam, Big Brother 14, right? Was it Adam? Wait. Bacon. I can't think. Is it Adam? Yeah, it's Adam. Isn't it Adam? Okay. Mr. Bacon. He commented on my tweet bitching about Jeff, saying, he hasn't, doesn't like him. He doesn't think he should be on. I don't know, man. I hate to pick on somebody for getting old, because I'm no spring chicken myself, so I'm going to pick on Jeff for being old, but there was something about him on that show last night that just drove me bonkers. He had his hair swept up in the front. It was like, what is that thing going on there? What is that, whoosh in the front of you? It looks like you're running into a like you got your head stuck out the window going down the road at 60 miles an hour, and the front of your hair is licked up. I just didn't get that look, and he just had this grimace on his face, and just the veins popping out of his neck, and this is big. And then at one point he goes like, you made this the number one show of. I don't really. That's something that some other people would say a lot that would drive me crazy. You don't need to. If Julie Chen starts saying thanks for making this the number one show on CBS on Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays or Fridays, I just don't know. Don't do that. You don't have to brag about how great your show is doing to the audience that's watching it. You can brag about that when you go on radio shows, when you go on talk shows, because you're going to be catching people that don't watch the show. But you don't need to brag about how great your show is doing at a finale being watched by the people that are helping you with those ratings. I don't know. It just rubs me the wrong way. It smacks a little bit to me of desperation, even though they're saying they're number one. It smacks of, look how great we are. Oh, we have to, yeah. All right, enough of that. Not a fan. Not a fan of that. Not a fan of, so back to the alumni coming back. Sorry, the detour threw me off. So they're coming back as coaches, right? Coaches. Oh, they're coaches. Gee, where have we ever seen, coaches come back for a reality show that won't be playing for the money? Nudge, nudge, wink, wink. I mean, maybe they are. They could very well be. It's only $1 million, and I say only, but it is only $1 million. So they're giving I'm sure they're giving Rob and what's his name a lot of money to be on there. Well, what's her name? Sorry, I'm sure they are paying them more than $1 million, possibly more than $1 million. Very easily could be more than $1 million to be on there. So winning the $1 million, won't make a difference to them. Although it very well could. I don't mean to poo-poo it. I'll take it. But at least for Rob, I'm sure he just wants to win the damn thing just to say he's won it twice. And I'm 99.9% sure that they are going to be given the opportunity to come in. And this coach thing is just basically an immunity thing to get them halfway through the season before they let them start playing. They are going to let these people play. There is no way that Boston Rob is going to sit in the sidelines and coach these people and not have a chance to play. That's just my thought, and I think there's a lot of people it's not an original thought on my part, trust me. Other people said it too. It just totally seems obvious. For those of us that have watched Survivor and watched Janelle and Brittany and Mike and who was the fourth coach? I don't remember right now. Dan. Push the damn button to join the game. Of course they're going to push the button. Wait, did one of them not push the button? I was thinking one of them might not have pushed the button. Did Janelle not push it? I don't know. All right, doesn't matter. That's next fall. That's a long ways away. They might get me to watch it. So as much as I complain about the Idol and I hate the Idols, I did enjoy Rick's little, manipulation with the Idols. I did enjoy that. That's the problem. I'm sick of the Idol crap, and yet I enjoyed watching it happen. So it's like watching a scary movie and peeking through the cracks of your fingers. I don't want to see it, but I gotta watch it. So, what else? Oh, and some musician or somebody that's really rich giving Rick $100,000. I've been doing it for a while. I guess she gives $100,000 to her favorite player. One Let's get her interested in Survivor. How about you check out our podcast and maybe give your favorite podcast $100,000? You may like, one of the other Big Brother podcasts better than ours, but I'll still be willing to, be in the running. Maybe, huh? No, okay. You could be a patron of our podcast for a lot less than $100,000, and we would sing your praises every single week during Big Brother. All right, that's it. I've reached the talking just for talking's sake stage, and it's time for me to sign off. Except I will briefly mention a couple other things. I don't know if it was on this podcast, or if it was on my non-Big Brother podcast, like I'm talking about Big Brother today. Well, I guess I did mention it. But I mentioned some other podcasts some podcasts that I listened to, and one of them was, I think, what's called Running from Cops or whatever. I may have mentioned it on my non-Big Brother podcast, just to be clear. But if I didn't, I mentioned Running from Cops, and it's a podcast about the TV show Cops. And I mentioned that I was going to tell Scott about it. I never had. Well, somebody tweeted about it yesterday and mentioned thanked me for the suggestion. So I guess it's good. And Scott and added Scott in the process. And Scott was like, "Oh, what's about this?" And so Scott probably will check it out. And what else? Paradise Island started. Paradise Island started last week. If you recall, Paradise Island was a Fox show, I think it was Fox, years and years ago. It might have been CW. Where couples come on the island and they vote each other out. Well, they don't vote each other out, but one male or female gets eliminated each week. And so you just keep, and then they keep cycling. And in theory, this show never ended. At least the original process was that the show never ended. It just kept having new people check in. But it does have an ending now. They get, I think, $250,000, 250 maybe. If the couple, I don't know if it's 150, 125 each, or if it's 250 each. But in the end, one couple wins. And who's beeping at who here? What's going on? All right. Sorry. Driving a different direction to work. Confusion. So it started last week, and I watched the first episode. I'm not sure I'm going to make it through too far into this, but I'm going to try. And I guess maybe last night the next episode was on. I'm not sure because I saw Colette tweeting about it this morning. And they're doing live show, maybe live eviction. They're doing something live. So they're trying to bring a live portion into it. I don't know. Something to remember to check out if you haven't yet. I think you can watch the season premiere on demand on Fox if you haven't watched it and you want to try to play catch-up. Season premiere, I think, was 2 hours. They had a catch-up show on Saturday. That's actually what I came across. I was like, ooh. And the catch-up show was probably an edited-down 1 hour version of the 2 hour premiere. So I watched the full 2 hour premiere, though, because I wanted to get a good sense of it. It was okay. It was just like the other ones, except for in the UK version, which was the most recent version. I watched part of one of the more recent versions of the UK. I watched the one that one of the Celebrity Big Brother UK house guests was on. In the UK version, they, for the most part, they all shared a bed, a bedroom. And here in the US version, they have individual bedrooms. So that's the difference. For better or worse. I don't know if it's because, I'm not sure. Or maybe they like the fact that they think that their house guests will, be a bit more interesting if they have their own private rooms together, paired off, as opposed to in one big bedroom with beds side by side. I can see pros and cons to both of them. And that is it. So check that out if you're interested. It's on Fox. And again, I think it may be on Wednesday nights. I'm not 100% sure. And again, Amazing Race should be back next week, I think. But I just play these things as they come along. I don't have appointment TV going on right now. This is more catch-up TV. I mean, I'm not going to talk about Game of Thrones. There you go. It just popped into my head. What else do I make a point to watch? Game of Thrones is the closest thing I have to appointment TV, and I still don't watch that on an appointment. I actually have to shut off Twitter on Sunday nights and not turn it back on until like Monday late after I've had a chance to watch it, because I can't watch it live. I'm signing off, guys. Have a good Thursday, and we'll talk to you sometime soon. All right? See ya. Bye-bye.